Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. We're back on Twitter once again for another LCS or just League of Legends off-season video talking about the latest rumors, speculation, all of that stuff. Again, free agency does not start until November 16th, so nothing is going to be official till then. Everything we talk about in this video and everything you see on Twitter, Reddit, whatever, should all be taken with a grain of salt because it's all just rumors and talks and negotiations and stuff going on behind the scenes, but nothing is guaranteed to be happening until that day. But then there's going to be a ton of moves happening. It's going to be super, super exciting. Before we get into this one, I just wanted to mention real quick, we do have a $25 RP giveaway going on for Christmas Day. It's going to be the first link in the description below if you're interested in joining that. The channel's been going crazy recently, so I want to give back to a lucky one of you guys just as a thank you for showing me a ton of love and a ton of support, and just because we're in the holiday spirit. With that being said, here we go, getting right into today's video, which is talking about Crownshot. LCS Spring Leaks tweeted out, this was yesterday in the afternoon, that Crownshot is rumored to be coming to a beloved LCS team in 2021, according to sources. More details should be out in the next week or so. There have been a ton of Crownshot rumors. He's been loosely linked to possibly going to G2, and he's been linked to a bunch of different teams in North America. But if this rumor is that he's going to a beloved LCS team, that obviously is going to bring a couple teams to mind. It's definitely not Team Liquid, who obviously already has their AD carry in place. Tactical's there. He's not going anywhere. There's no way they're replacing him. Cloud9 has Sven. I would be very surprised if they're replacing him. I believe Sven has one more year on his contract anyway. But with how up and down their team was last year, I really don't think anyone blames it on Sven, their drop-off or anything, or them not making it to Worlds. I think it would be a weird replacement. So I assume it's not Cloud9. So then, obviously, that brings us to TSM. If we think those are the three most beloved teams in North America, TL, C9, TSM, pretty much the three biggest fan bases, probably TSM and Cloud9 being the biggest. TL and Cloud9 kind of go back and forth depending on who's the better team at the moment. But TSM, obviously the biggest fan base in North America. That is where I first think about this. That brings us back to the fact that, is Doublelift retiring? Is Doublelift getting kicked? Is he leaving TSM? I really would find it hard to believe that Doublelift would play on any other team in TSM, but I know he did come to TSM specifically to play with Bjergsen, to win trophies with Bjergsen, to try and do damage at Worlds with Bjergsen. But now that he's coach, you know, maybe Doublelift is ready to move on with his career. Maybe he's ready to retire, even though I know a few weeks ago on stream he said he wasn't going to be retiring, but things could change. And also, Reginald can do whatever he wants. Just because Doublelift thinks he's staying or wants to stay or whatever doesn't mean they can't replace him. But in this world of TSM importing an AD carry, importing Crownshot, that means they would be going with the resident top laner, Impact, Licorice, someday if he gets residency. You have a couple other options in terms of top laner. And they'd have to be going with the resident mid laner because it's pretty much been confirmed at this point that TSM is going to be importing support, whether that's Hylissang, whether that's a random Korean support, whether it's one of the big name Korean supports. It does seem like they're pretty set on importing support just because there's not really too many exciting native talents there that TSM would even be able to get their hands on. So, again, this would mean that they would have an import bot lane with Evolved pretty much in the mid lane because they would have to go with a North American mid laner. They have Evolved ready to go, but they have been talking to a lot of other import mid laners. So, I don't really know at this point. It's all crazy. There's so many different rumors going on. I think it would make the most sense for TSM to go with the resident top laner because they have so many different options. The other rumor is that TSM has been talking to a ton of free agents, and no one is really interested in going to them for whatever reason. I mean, the two biggest reasons is that, one, TSM doesn't pay as much as somebody like Team Liquid. They don't throw around a ton of money. Even some other teams like Immortals and Dignitas have thrown out like multi-million-dollar contracts, and TSM just doesn't really do that. They've also always relied on their branding and just being the most popular team and being the team that you want to play for. But also recently, TSM hasn't been the team that you'd want to play for. They've won one championship in the last 6 splits. They made it to Worlds once in the last 3 years. They went 0-6 at that one World. So it's like, you know, and just by being on TSM, you don't automatically get 1 million Twitter followers. You don't automatically blow up on Twitch or anything anymore either. So TSM is in a weird spot where they want to be this good team who competes for trophies and they want to do well at Worlds, but they're not willing to spend the money and people aren't willing to give them the discount anymore. So TSM has reached out, at least from what I'm hearing, TSM has reached out to a bunch of Korean mid laners, European mid laners, Chinese mid laners, Korean supports. They've reached out to different top laners, and a lot of it is falling through in negotiations. So if they're not able to get the import mid laner they want, if they're not able to get the import top laner they want, maybe the next most valuable thing would be to import AD carry if they really believe in Crownshot, if they really think he's that good. So I think it would be really weird. I think it's a bad sign that TSM is not being able to move forward in negotiations with a lot of these different imports. But I think it does make sense. I think TSM needs to either, one, show teams that they are a good place to be and a good place to play, or they need to start, cutting some bigger checks. The other problem is that TSM historically has not developed talent very well. So if they're not willing to pay big money for the big names, then that means they're going to need to take cheaper deals for some project players that they can develop and stuff. But TSM hasn't been very good at developing players the last couple of years. However, now they do obviously have a new head coach. People think Bjergsen is going to hopefully be able to improve the development process, be able to focus a lot more on getting the team better, more prepared over the years, but we will see. As far as this rumor for a beloved team, the only other team I can think of that would make sense to call a beloved team would possibly be CLG. CLG is rumored to be wanting to move on from Stixxay. But the other rumor is that no one is really interested in Stixxay. So they're having trouble trading him, having somebody buy him out, getting rid of him. They don't just want to cut him and have all that dead money. So maybe Crownshot could be going to CLG to be their new AD carry as well. But I don't really know if at this point I would call CLG a beloved team. I know they have historically had a big fan base. And when they're good, those fans kind of come out. But in between, you don't really hear a lot about CLG. So I don't know. Maybe Crownshot to CLG. But I would say more likely this rumor is about TSM. But I still don't think Crownshot to TSM is very likely. I think in most scenarios it just makes sense to go with Doublelift because I really think they need to be importing a mid laner and support unless they're down to go with Evolved. I would like to see Evolved play. But, TSM, Bjergsen, they're the ones making that decision. They've seen Evolved in scrims. They know just how good he is, and they know if maybe he needs another year in Academy or maybe he's ready to go right now. I'm not sure. But Crownshot coming to North America would be pretty hype. I'm down to see him in North America. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's a really, really nice talent. I think he could develop into a very, very good AD carry. And yeah, I think he would be interesting to have in the scene. I would love to have him in North America. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Who do you think this rumor is about? Do you think Crownshot's going to TSM, CLG, or is there another team that I'm completely forgetting about that you think Crownshot could be headed to? Subscribe to update on all my latest content. Again, check out the first link in the description below for that $25 RP giveaway we have going on. Good luck to you if you enter that. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!